Hey everybody, we are back once again. This is week 13 of the bakery. I am Jason, joined always by Tribe. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving and you made all the money. Tribe, how was your Thanksgiving and how was your week 12?
Thanksgiving was phenomenal. We still got mad food left. Like I got like two trays of mac and cheese, two pots of collard greens, some oxtail, all still left. So I'm gonna try and move through that as much as I can over the next 2 days before food starts going bad. Um, so Thanksgiving wise, like family wise, was great. Food was great. The actual DFS slate got crushed, which sucks because like my two big stands were Cincinnati stacks, right? Burrow, Chase, and Chase Brown, and I played Bengals defense with that, and then Jordan Love stacks with Christian Watson and Dontavian Wicks, but all for naught because every lineup had one or both of Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So there
Jeez.
was
Well,
that.
that's brutal. That's brutal. Food was good here too. A lot of leftover ham, a lot of leftover mac and cheese that I'm probably going to devour after this podcast. I stand by what I said on the round table. Turkey is cheeks, so I will not be eating any turkey,
Yep.
especially because nobody knows how to season it. But DFS wise, I probably made about like 80-90% of my money back. I was bailed out a lot in small field by my Pat Mahomes stack, but I
Mm,
had some really good stuff going in the Millie Maker. I know we were talking about your Jordan Love with, and you had either Amon Ra or Gibbs. I had Gibbs in every Jordan Love lineup, and I hit the nuts with, him Watson Dubs and sorry, not Dubs, him Watson and what's the guy Wicks and
yep.
Jamison Williams overstacked it with Gibbs like a buffoon, and in that same lineup I had Chase Brown and Rasheed Rice and Isaiah Likely. So I thought I thought I could have did it. I was close, but sadly that is not the case. And how was your week 12 too? How'd you do last Sunday? It feels like it was so far. It's
Oh my
been
God.
forever.
It was a good week 12. I remember that because like I remember it was good because coming into it I was like, "Oh, I got, some money to spend on the Thanksgiving slate," and then like donated it all back to Draftkings. That's
I remember you posted something in the Discord and you're like, man, I really got to start playing higher dollar contests. And you said something like that, right?
yes, cuz who the hell did I play? I had some yeah. I'm trying to I good god, it was so long ago.
You had a good lineup though. You put up like
It was like
18.
234. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was 230.
234. I know it was above two. I knew it was above two. Oof.
Oh, was this? Yes, this was the JSN because I flag planted him. JSN and Shamari DK mini stacks. Okay, I remember this now. Uh, Gibbs going nuclear. Yeah. Okay. And then who was our free square? Didn't we have a free square at running back?
Oh
Emmanuel Wilson.
yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Who I did not play much of, which I'm kind of kicking myself for.
Yeah, and then like it was Jacoby Brissett stacks. The only thing I regret not going heavier on was the Jameis stacks. Like I got thrown off a little bit because I was expecting Jackson Dart to start, and then like they said he didn't clear concussion protocol, and it was going to be back to Jameis, and I just didn't. I don't know. I just didn't have time, like to go in and swap lineups.
That makes
Just didn't make that a
sense.
priority. But it is what it is. But like that's kind of where I was leaning. It was between like the Jameis stacks or the Brissett stacks, and um, I just felt the Brissett stacks were like kind of the easy button, particularly with Jamari DK like being like unowned.
Couldn't believe that guy was that low owned. It's somebody I loved him last week. I wrote him up. I talked about him, and I couldn't believe he was like 6% owned, and even less than that. And he even paid you off handsomely because he took a kickback too. So like
Yeah,
that
I
was
was out. That was unexpected, but I was like, right, because so when that happens, I'm like, oh, all right, we got this. Um, so
it was his second one in like 4 games too. Like
yeah, it was
it's
crazy.
I and he helped me out a lot. I think what saved me in my small field builds, I had probably similar thing this Thanksgiving. I probably made like 80-90% of my money back. But the one thing that helped me out a ton is I was thinking through the Brissett chalk, and I was like, Trevor Lawrence is on the other side of this. Like, he likes to run too. And like, I'm not saying I got to get the pass catchers right, but if I can get like the touchdown equity, I will. And I ended up getting Trevor Lawrence and ETN paired together. I bring it back with Michael Wilson, which was nice. I hit Gibbs, but I played Trevion Henderson. I had a lot of them, and
Nope.
Mike
All right.
Vrabel just like doesn't want to
Nope.
give this guy the ball on the goal line.
Not at all.
Terrible, man, terrible. But anyway, I digress. We are on the week 12. So looking at week 12 and starting with the quarterback spot, there's a lot of places I like this week, but I also think it's interesting that we only have 5 quarterbacks above 6K. I'll let you know my favorite shortly. But what are you going to do at quarterback this week? I know you're not paying up, so like Stafford and Allen are not going to be in consideration. But
Yeah.
where are you going to go after that?
I mean, you got a decent amount to like in this low tier. You got Jacoby Brissett, who DraftKings refuses to price up. It's 5,800 now, but he's still perfectly fine there. Darnold, revenge game against the Minnesota Vikings. Trevor Lawrence against Tennessee. I can't touch Bryce Young versus the Rams. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's a tough defense. That's a tough defense for him, and that's a tough click in general.
Yeah, can't do that. I don't hate Tua under 5K versus New Orleans. I can't touch Kirk Cousins. And I said this last week. I didn't end up going there, but like I might end up there this week. I think you can play Cam Ward against Jacksonville.
And honestly, he had a game. He had a game against Seattle to put up 24
He did.
DK points. And now he gets a much softer matchup against Jacksonville. I'm with you, man. I agree on all those. You know, the one guy that I'm gonna have a lot of this week. You know me, man. I love to attack these Colts games. I want all the CJ Stroud I can stomach. I want all of them and then some. Coming off this concussion. Pause. Yes, pause. But I do want him badly. 5K, 6,700 Nico Collins. They just don't want to raise this guy's price at all. Back down 500 off of the dud against Buffalo. 6,700. You can make a stack with him, Nico Collins, and Dalton Schultz, who's still sub 4K.
Love Dalton Schultz when he gets a tight end, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just dirt cheap. It's dirt cheap, but it leaves you with 5,750 left per player. I personally am a huge fan of that. I'm definitely going to have some Tua this week. I'm definitely going to have some sort of Cam Ward exposure. The one guy who I'm surprised you didn't say is, and I'm shocked by this actually, because I feel like this is the time where you usually jump on these guys, is Tyler Shough. I'm surprised you didn't say Tyler Shough.
I'm waiting for injury, like for the injury situation to shake out. Like Olave is questionable. If he's out, I want nothing to do with that.
That's fair. That's fair. You can make a cheap stack with him and Jawan Johnson, but I do get it. It's probably really, really thin. And also it's a back issue for Olave, so I kind of tread lightly there. The only other guy I was going to mention here is I do think I'm probably going to get to some Trevor Lawrence again here too. Darnold, I don't mind, but something about Lawrence using his legs, just I think that there's a little bit more meat on the bone for him there if things break right. And I do think Tennessee is going to be able to push this a little bit, but that's where I'm leaning. I'm not going to play anybody in the 6K range. I don't think I'm touching one person there.
No.
Gross. Any other thoughts before we go to running back?
No.
All right. Let's go to running back. Also, people may know, you may notice we might be firing through this a little bit quicker than usual. This is only a 10-game main slate, so there's some less options for us to go over. So at running back here, so this is a very interesting week for me at running back because I think that the mid-tier guys can all do really, really well. I think all the high-end guys have a path to do really, really well. And I do think that there's some cheap guys who are at a spot to do fairly well. So what are you going to do at running back? Because I think this one, I don't remember a week where I can go up and down the salaries from low fives to the top end and make a case for like a lot of them. So what are you going to do at running back?
Oh man, I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor and McCaffrey at the top of the list, right? As far as like price, but they both have really, really bad matchups in terms of like the strength of the defense they're facing in Houston and Cleveland, respectively. But you know, these are guys with top tier ceilings. I would probably be more inclined to lean McCaffrey here, just because the passing work is also there for him.
Yep.
And he's $500 cheaper than Jonathan Taylor. And then I think we talked about this previously, right? With like these running backs who just have the rushing, passing upside where, you know, they legit could get like 200 scrimmage yards and multiple touchdowns. And, you know, that's true for both Bijan and Devon Achane. I think I would put Achane above Bijan just because Mike McDaniel is not an idiot. And regardless of, like, he's a lot of things, but I actually don't think he's an idiot. Right?
He's Mr. Steal Girl too. You ever hear about that story? How he stole his assistant coach's girl? Like, like,
well, I believe it's now
he's not an idiot. It was not. Hey, he married her at least. He married her.
But I say that to say, like, Devon Achane is going to be involved one way or another. He might not get like 20 carries or whatever, but if he's going to get the targets, like he's going to be involved in the offense. Raheem Morris for Atlanta, on the other hand, is a moron and will just not use Bijan when you are down your backup quarterback and your number one receiver is not playing. In a game script when it should be just get Bijan as many touches and get the ball into the hands of our best players often as we can, it's no, let's drop, you know, HB dive plays for Algiers and throw the ball to Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, dude. If this week he doesn't like pound him, then I pause again. Holy shit, big pause. but if he does, I was gonna say if he doesn't ride Bijan, nothing's.
There's no good way to say this.
There's no good. If this motherfucker doesn't give Bijan Robinson the vast majority of the workload in a game where they're playing at the Jets, the weather is going to be dog shit. You're supposed to have some rain here locally, and London is out again. If he doesn't give this guy 30 touches in a game where they need to bury the Jets, it's one thing if they have the Jets buried by like the third quarter and you want to like peel it back a little. All right, like, you know, here we're never going to get mad when game script gets away from us. But if he doesn't do it this fucking week, man, I don't know. And when you look at Miami, I said this in the Discord. Me and Pablo were talking about this a week or two ago. They have a very friendly schedule. They are far from out of like the playoff picture, Miami. Like
what's their current? What's their record?
Oh, their record is cheeks. I think they have like 4 wins, but they can win out the rest of their schedule right now. Like it's that the rest of their schedule.
They're like 4-7 or something.
I believe so. They might even have one more than that. They're 4-7, but when you go look at the AFC, like just playoff picture in general. So Baltimore, they're a game behind Baltimore right now. If they win, they're going to be a game behind Baltimore. They'll be a game behind Kansas City. And if the Texans lose at Indianapolis, which is very, very possible, they're going to be in a game within all those teams. And then you also have, you know, the Jaguars and the Chargers and Bills who are kind of doing well, but also kind of reeling in that same capacity. It's an uphill climb for sure, but their schedule is easy. They get the Saints this week. They're at the Jets, at the Steelers, which is a little tough. The Bengals, who are look, they beat the Ravens yesterday, but that defense for Devon Achane, sign me up. Then they get the Buccaneers, and then they end with the Patriots, who may not need that game in Week 18. They got a lot of pats there. I think Devon Achane's going to get fucking fed here, dude.
Yeah. So of that group, Achane is probably my favorite, both in terms of volume, ceiling, and price. So up top, That's where I'm looking. I mean, going down, there's not much as far as value. So I think to your point, yeah, it's probably going to be like this in this 6K range, right? Um, on the other side of that Atlanta game, you got Brees Hall, who is still getting the work as bad as the team is. Um, I do think his ceiling is limited by how bad the team is, mostly because it kind of neuters his touchdown equity, right? Like he's still going to get carries, he's going to still get some receptions, he can still rack up the yardage, both rushing and receiving. But for that real ceiling, you really need him to get in the box, and their offense is just so bad. It's a lot less likely that he's gonna get goal line carries, he's gonna get red zone carries, and for him to get in the box, it is gonna have to be him breaking an explosive play and going the distance, right? Um, and then you got Judkins versus San Francisco, but who's like the complete opposite of like he's not going to get any yardage, but will still manage to get in the end zone like 3 times.
Yeah, if they find themselves on the one, they're just going to hand it to them, and they're not going to, they're not going to make any bones about it. They're just going to do it.
Right. And so, in that regard, like the 3 guys I'm probably looking at the most in this range is probably Kyron Williams, ETN, and Ashton Genty.
I like all those. I mean, I think I'm a little higher on some of these cheaper guys than you are. And it's mostly because I could see the game script going in that favor. But to start at the top, I'm going to definitely have probably Devon Achane on most of my rosters this week. This is just one of those spots where like we've kind of seen this how many times now where really good running back, chalkiest running back in great spot smash. Like I think we just kind of play that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan Taylor, I actually don't mind. And the reason why is that you could play him in that Stroud stack. And as great as a defense that the Houston Texans defense is, they are not great against certain run schemes. And what they do, a lot of this outside zone run scheme, it's actually what they're the weakest at. So I think Jonathan Taylor at home here, Daniel Jones is a little bit banged up. I don't love that because I don't know
He's
how
playing with a
efficient.
fractured fibula. Like what?
Yeah,
I saw
I
that
don't
and was
know.
like, oh, he's going to be out. And then they're like, no, he's playing. Like, how?
I don't know. I have no idea, dude. And
That is insane.
I don't know what's going to happen when he takes a hit. Like
Right.
I
I'm,
don't know.
yeah.
Did
I'm,
do they hand it off 35 times? Like I don't know what they do.
they might.
They might.
I mean,
And
God forbid he gets hit the wrong way and they have to bring in like Anthony Richardson. Like, Jonathan Taylor's going to get like 30 carries.
yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's more of a volume play. Like I'm not saying he's going to be super efficient. McCaffrey, also in Cleveland, I'm going to push back a little bit. They've actually been pretty bad over the last few weeks against some run games. It's a certain type of archetype back that kills them, though, and it's this one. It's the dual threat guy kind of kills them because they play a lot of man coverage. So when he gets
Mm-hmm.
out into the flats or he tries these crossing routes, like I have this vision of McCaffrey just like taking a step on an option route, putting it inside, catching it, and taking it like 50 yards until somebody
Yeah,
catches it.
because he's going to get like a linebacker or one of the safeties matched up on him. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Achan Love. Cook, I think, is sort of interesting just because I think they're gonna give Allen some fits, but I don't know how much I want to click that. Not gonna play Bucky Irving, even though they're very hush hush on how much work he's gonna get. Rico Dowdle, no thank you. I'm not in this spot. Kyron, I think, is a very sharp call. ETN, I definitely am going to have shares of. I think you can go right back to that Trevor Lawrence ETN stack, and also Tennessee, bottom 5 in the league in explosive run plays allowed. They are not very good whatsoever. And Kenneth Walker had 4 explosive runs last week. He just didn't score on any of them, and they brought in Charbonnet at the goal line
Native.
and
Yeah, yeah.
fucking pissed in my fucking
Oh, I
Cheerios.
will say that I don't know um what the deal is with this, but I know that he did have a Q tag. So just if Kenneth Walker does end up missing this game though, like Charbonnet is probably an auto play.
Yeah, he's pretty close to it, especially against Minnesota. We just saw what happened to them last week when another backup running back who gets maybe 5 touches a game gets that nod. Um, But nonetheless, the other one I was going to shout out here is Woody Marks. I do think Woody Marks in this game environment. Colts are not really great at stopping anything, and he gets a lot of passing game work. So I don't mind that. I don't know if I'm definitely going to go there. I don't mind that though. And last but not least, I I I can't believe I'm saying this. I think I got some Kenneth Gainwell interest in large field against this Buffalo defense.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
They're not bad at covering at limiting pass catches out of the backfield. They stink. So I think if they shut down the run game and if it's Mason Rudolph again who's going to dump it off,
Mm-hmm.
5-6 times, I'm in. But any other thoughts here before we go to wide receiver?
No.
Okay. All right. So wide receiver. My first initial thoughts when I looked at this when I looked at this week is like Jay said, a 9,500 still feels like you could stomach that just with like how good he's been. And this is this game in Minnesota or is this in Seattle?
It's in Seattle.
Oh, I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah. Him and Seattle, big fan. Puka Nacua, love the spot against Carolina here. He's just expensive and they may not need him to be Puka Nacua. That
Right.
they just may not need that, but he is a zone buster, and that is all that they play. Very similar to the Jawan Jennings routes you saw, and on Monday Night Football, he does the same thing. Justin Jefferson's starting to get into like you have to gamble it and play him territory. 7,100. I'm probably not going to click that still, but you got to consider it. But yeah, man, I love the whole Waddle Collins. I love Waddle and Collins in most of my lineups this week. I think starting with Waddle and Achane is like kind of a good start. And if you wanted to just take that offense,
I was gonna say you could also. That's why I mentioned Tua. Like I like that stack. I think because Tua is so cheap, you can get Achane, Waddle, add in Tua there, right, and get the QB to just complete the stack at 4,800. So you don't have to necessarily punt like a receiver in that same range.
Yeah. What about when you start going a little bit lower too? Because I look at guys like Lad McConkey, obviously Michael Wilson. If you don't against his Tampa Bay secondary, if we don't get Marvin Harrison Jr. back, like that's an absolute smash. But he may be playing. We don't know. What are you going to do more the mid range at wide receiver?
Yeah. I know Chris Godwin is back. I don't really care. I still like Ibuka at 6,500. But going a little bit lower than that, right? Ted McMillan, Michael Wilson, I think are fine. I want nothing to do with Michael Pittman Jr., Jacoby Myers, probably off of him and Parker Washington with Brian Thomas Jr. coming back. Not touching Darnell Mooney. I'm sorry. Just can't do it. I mean, there are worse plays than Darnell Mooney for sure, but it's less about him and more. I just don't trust Kirk Cousins.
That's fair.
It's rough down here, man. The one I'm really waiting on, and I want to play again. And this might sound like point chasey or whatever because like he did his thing last week, but I don't even see him. I don't even see that we have it in. But if I can't even pronounce his name. The receiver for the Titans, if that yeah. If he's out again, like I will go right back. And actually, matter of fact, even if he's in, to be honest,
I might go right back
to go back to Chimeri DK at 4,400.
Dude, I'm going to play this guy every fucking week until he's like 5,500. I'm going to play him every single week. And this is the softest matchup he's going to have seen in the last 4 weeks. And when you look at the weeks where he's had soft matchups, he's done well.
The other guy I'll call out here is Jerry Jeudy at 4,100.
Too cheap.
Yes.
Too cheap in the San Francisco defense.
Quarterback now that can actually throw the ball downfield.
Yep, and we'll actually take a shot and do it too.
Right, that's
Right?
what I'm
Like,
saying. Yeah.
oh no, yeah, I just
Now,
can't
granted,
believe.
we just
Yeah,
hope that he doesn't do something stupid and high step into a fumble.
yeah, that was pretty fucking ridiculous, honestly. Yeah, it's just how dumb can you be, dude? Like
Oh my gosh.
that's crazy. I totally agree with you, Chimeri DK. I'm going to play a lot of this guy. This is the softest matchup he's had, and when you look at the other matchups he's had this year, so Tennessee against New England great against the run game, okay against pass catchers. He 4x's his tag against Indianapolis. You know how I feel about those Colts. 4x this tag. The Chargers, okay. The Chargers, they had 2 return touchdowns and he had one of them, and they didn't really they couldn't really run the ball, do anything really that game to get going. Whatever. The Texans flopped. It's the Texans. Okay. Seattle, 2 touchdowns. I get one was on a kick return, but if you take away that touchdown, he still is 5 for 44 and 1 at 4K last week. Now he gets the Jaguars. Like, yeah, I'm all aboard that. Jaden Higgins like a lot too. I think one of these other, I can see this Houston game going very much the way that it did against Baltimore, where CJ Stroud has like 4 touchdown passes for like 200 yards. I could see this happening, and Vegas seems to kind of agree. Did you know that they only have the Colts as 3-point favorites right now at home?
Yep.
So they must think Houston is going to be very competitive. I don't mind Tez Johnson here. I don't mind Shaheed to finally get going, but I'm going to play Rashid Shaheed every week. He gets cheaper just because of his home run hitting upside. Going really, really cheap though. I do like some Adonai Mitchell, and I do like some. Actually, Mechie's okay.
I was gonna say before I play AD Mitchell, I will play some John Mechie.
They seem to like him a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, people forget he was a high draft pick before he had that whole cancer ordeal.
Yeah.
So I think John Mechie's pretty good. I like that too. And to go back to your mid range call, so Darnell Mooney, like, congrats to you fish that played him last week. Terrible, but this week he is getting a man heavy team in the Jets. I just don't trust the Falcons to like do anything well with their game plan. So I'm going to be out on that. I am going to be playing some Keenan Allen. I think he's getting to this price point where you could start rolling the dice on him. All of these, Chargers receivers.
Vegas is also
awful, and they play a ton of zone. And
yep.
Keenan Allen's been a little bit of a zone buster. But outside of that, I agree with everything else too. Is any other thoughts before we go to tight end?
I think just really focus on correlating here with your stacks. And I have the feeling we're going to get some really shaky one-off chalk once ownership kind of settles in. So don't feel forced to like play some of these guys if they are coming in like high owned. Like, I don't know, like if we start seeing chalk on like these Chargers receivers or somebody like Khalil, anybody from Buffalo for that matter, right? If you start seeing double-digit ownership on some of these guys, like, feel free to fade that. I don't think there's any like you must like locks plays, like you must have like a ton of shares of this guy at receiver this week.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel better about some of the cheaper running backs and mid-tier running backs than I do some of these wideouts. But no, I totally agree. Now we got to go to tight end, where finally they gave our guy the price bump he deserves.
Yeah.
Trey McBride, $2,000 more expensive than the next most expensive tight end. I'm probably out on McBride now.
I can't do not at 7,800.
I mean, I don't mind it if we get Marvin Harrison Jr. out again. That I don't really mind, because Tampa Bay has been pretty bad against the tight end position. But I just think you're asking for a lot here.
Yeah.
Like, you're asking him, he's got to have that 35-40 point game outlier here. And I think the other guys that are at that price tag can get it. So I'm probably out on that. Bowers, I think, is a little interesting, but I don't really love that either. Kittle, sure.
Yeah. Bowers is similar to Bijan to me in that they're clearly the most talented offensive player on their team, but for whatever reason, these coaches are dumb and just like will not plan to get them the ball.
They did just fire Chip Kelly, by the way. He's gone.
Yes. So the only that I was just going to mention, they did end up firing Chip Kelly, who should not have gotten a second chance in the NFL at all. Like, he has not been successful in the NFL. Every player he's ever coached in the NFL has hated him and had nothing but negative things to say about him. I have no idea how he got a second attempt at this. That is mind-boggling to me. I mean, we know how, but come on, bro. So, good riddance. Please don't ever come back. But that being said, you could, hope that they got somebody in there now who understands, let's just get the ball in the hand of our best player, and Brock Bowers gets like 15 targets or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. They're giving him he's getting a lot of work. They're just not like scheming him in great spots. Like, he's getting 9 to 12 targets a game. They're just
who was the other offense coordinator that got fired this year?
Was there another one who got fired?
Yes, because it was a similar situation where I was like, oh, they got fired. They might actually like do something on offense. And sure enough, like the next game, the offense finally like came to life and had a good like fantasy day.
I'm not sure. I'm not positive. I got to think about who maybe have gotten clipped, because I know some head coaches have gotten fired. I thought Chip Kelly was the only coordinator who was gone.
Maybe it might have been a head coach.
Yeah, maybe Callahan in Tennessee. That could have been it. He was gone. I don't know.
In either case, though, like sometimes change is good. But yeah, to your point, I don't mind that. George Kittle is fine.
Man coverage here, he could break one. Like, I think it's all right.
Yeah, it's not something I prioritize. Just real quick on the Trey McBride thing. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is back, you don't touch it at all. If Marvin Harrison Jr. is out, I think you can still play him, but if you play him, it has to be in a stack. You cannot play him as a one-off at that price.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I totally agree. The price is outlandish. Tyler Warren, I don't know. Maybe we're making a mountain out of a molehill here. I just don't want to touch any of these pass catchers with Daniel Jones right now. You hear that maybe once every 10 years that a guy's playing with a broken fucking fibula. Like, are you serious? One of the biggest bones in your body's broken and you're going to play on it. Okay, guy. I don't know.
Tyler Warren might be the pass catcher I feel the best about from the Colts, though.
Yeah, because his targets aren't that deep, and they do some design runs for him. So maybe that. Gadsden and Jawan Johnson, I do like a lot, and I'm hoping this is the Kyle Pitts week. I mean, I'm getting sick of playing this fucking guy.
Yeah, I like both of those. Gadsden, Jawan. I think this range is really strong to me. And Oronde Gadsden, Jawan Johnson, Cade Ott, and Kyle Pitts, Dalton Schultz. That would probably be my group, to be honest. If I were like setting rules or like running an MME set, like that's primarily where I want my tight ends coming from.
Me too. We might get a little bit of a dumpster dive here. With if Chigo Konku doesn't play, you can go to that whoever that backup is if you want to play a really cheap Caleb stack, and they like their tight ends in the red zone.
Gordy's boy, Gunnar Helm. Yeah.
Gunnar Helm. Yeah, Konku didn't practice yesterday, so we'll see.
Helm, even with him, he had 7 targets the last game, 5 before that, 4 and 6 catches. I mean, he's not a great play, like by any means, but like in terms of like the stereotypical tight end production, right? You want like, something like 5 for 50 or some combination of like 10 points between catches and receiving yards, and then hope they get in the box. He, with no Chiga Compo, he is exactly that. You're just getting it for about $1,000 less than the next best guy.
Yep, I agree.
So there,
I totally agree. The one guy I want to shout out here, and then outside of that, I might play some like AJ Barner or Fannin, but I'm probably not going to go below this guy. I really like Brenton Strange a lot. First week back off of IR last week, 9 targets. What more could you want from a You know, a $3,700 tight end. If you tell me he's going to get 6 to 10 targets, I'm in.
Yeah,
I'll roll
for
the
sure.
dice on that. I'll roll the dice on that till the cows come home. Any other tight end thoughts?
No, I think tight end is probably one of the deeper positions this week. There's a lot of options you can go with.
I agree. And now we go to
That
our
being said,
beloved.
hold on, real quick though, not to
Sure.
cut you off.
No, you're good.
But it is really deep. However, I do not think it is a 2 tight end week. I just think you're giving up way too much if you play like 2 of these punt tight ends. Like, I don't think you need to do that. It might look sexy, right? Before lock, you play 2 of these cheap tight ends, and now you've jammed in like Achan and like JSN and Puka, and you're like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, no, because like, let's be clear, like both punt tight ends could get you like 5 fantasy points and you're dead.
Yeah, I'm totally with you on that. I think some of them are okay if you want to do double tight end, but honestly, I'm not leaning there either. And honestly, I don't know if our ownership is kind of messed up right now. We need to update it. But looking at the Sims, CJ Stroud showing immensely for small field contest. Bridgewater's not going to play. It's going to be Mayfield, so that's going to have to get rectified. But then there's Herbert, there's your boy Tua, and there is some Brissett and Trevor Lawrence. You love that. Worst play. I mean, Bridgewater's not going to play, but Josh Allen, Stafford, Darnold, Max Brosmer, Seattle defense alert. I'm just throwing that out there. Running back, Achan. Yeah, strong marks here for Achan. And
oh, that's a good question. Who the hell is starting for Minnesota?
I think it's going to be Max Brosmer.
So it's not Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz had like a shoulder injury already.
Out
right?
for the year. He's out for the year.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Max Brosmer.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's got 8 passes on the entire year for 42 yards.
Do we think he's min price? Do we think he gets talked up as just a min price quarterback who has options? You have a safety valve in Aaron Jones. You got a solid tight end option in TJ Hawkinson, and you have a legit like wide receiver 1, top end receiver in Justin Jefferson.
Probably by our balding motherfucker owner here, James. Like, he's probably going to talk him up, and he's going to do the whole, oh, he's 4K. You got to consider him. He's a 4K quarterback. I don't know. I don't think he gets talked up. The reason why, tough spot here on the road in Seattle. If he was at home facing like the Dolphins, sure. But
Yeah.
I just can't wait for James to talk about how we have a 4K quarterback we got to consider. And then we get to dunk on him when it doesn't work. I'm just saying.
Shit, Seahawks defense is also like max price out, like them and the Chargers. Just, jeez,
dude, those Charbonnet Seahawks D combinations are gonna hit like crack cocaine, brother.
Oh
they're
my god,
they're gonna hit like crack.
I'm not gonna lie though, if Kenneth Walker is out, I'm all over that Charbonnet. I would absolutely lock that in.
He's playing.
Damn it, Kenneth Walker's in.
Yep, he's in.
Boo.
5,300 again, man. 5,300 again.
I don't want to play that. I'm not playing that split backfield.
Yeah, I'm not either. I'm probably done with it. And then now Ken Walker's going to shadow roam me for 30 because that's how my life goes. Probably. So, but back to Sims, Bijan and Achan seem to be a pretty strong combo. There is some Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker exposure, and Kyron Williams. The best plays at running back based on edge are Bijan Robinson, Devon Achan, and a bunch of bums that have, negligible edge. And then worse is Omarion Hampton, which I kind of
he's not playing, is he?
I think he's back.
Is he back? Yeah. Okay.
He still has an IR tag. He was limited in practice on Wednesday. So if he's not in, then like Kamani Vidal is pretty good at 5,700.
Yeah.
I kind of think he just sucks as a football player.
Yeah.
Like, I think we watched Vidal for 2 years now, and he sucks. So I don't know. Breece Hall too. Like to see Breece Hall exposure in general, but at running back, they really want you to pay up. Wide receiver, they want you to be more mid-range and down low.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Michael Wilson, Chris Olave, Higgins, Waddle, Nico Collins. That's my boy. Michael Wilson, Olave, Higgins with the largest edge. Smallest edge is JSN, Puka, and Jalen Waddle. I think that's going to change come Sunday. I should.
I don't know that it does. Like, I understand where it's essentially what this is saying is like you have two running backs in HN and Bijan who are under 9K, who have arguably similar floor ceiling combos to the two top end receivers, but those receivers are going to be significantly more.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess so. It's hard for
And
me to believe that.
This is also just based on our current ownership, which again, as you said, like with multiple slates this week, we got to wait for it to clear itself out, right?
Yes, we do.
It should be cleared up by tonight. But I say that to say you got Puka and JSN currently. We had them both projected for 25 to 30% ownership, whereas Bijan is like 15. So like the Sims are going to jam him in over both of them, and like they're going to look like negative edge. But it depends on like what is their actual ownership projection end up being.
That makes sense. I think we see JSN around that like 23 to 25, and I just looked at another place and they got Bijan at 12. Crazy.
Raheem Morris is an idiot, but I have like at 12%, and all right.
He's got to bet on the talent. He's got to bet on the talent.
You got to bet on it because Lord knows the coaching staff is going to get him there.
Well, maybe Kyle Pitts will get us there. Look at that tight end. Mostly Kyle Pitts, some Gadsden, Barner, Fannin. Highest edge is Pitts and Fannin. Taysom Hill, ew. Lowest edge is Gadsden, Tyler Warren, and Parkinson. And in the flex,
Higbee's out. That's right.
Oh yeah, Higbee was out last week too. I should have caught that. Flex exposure, mostly tight ends right now, but this is also for small field. So I wonder how this is going to look come Sunday. Right now it's pushing double tight end, but I don't think you're really going to need that. But outside of that, Tribe, what do you want to leave the people with for week 13?
I think the thing to keep in mind with week 13 is just we have a smaller slate. It's 10 games because we had a lot of teams playing, for Thanksgiving. We have a Black Friday game happening right now. So the options are going to be limited. You're not necessarily going to see some of the same like game totals. So just be very mindful of where you're attacking. We have multiple teams on this slate with implied team totals below 20.
It's egregious.
It's
it's so disgusting.
So I think you want to do two things. One, focus on like the teams that are going to score points, but then also focus a lot on like usage, role, and volume. Like it's not to say you can't play a guy from a team that doesn't have a great team total, but if you are, you absolutely need to be prioritizing high usage.
Yep. I think this is a week where people to build on your point there, and this is the message I was going to leave everybody with too. I think secondary options are particularly weak this week. Very, very weak. And if you're thinking about like a wide receiver 2-3 from an offense with an 18-point team total, you should probably just go to church instead or go somewhere else and spend your Sunday with family. Do something productive. I don't know. But no, I just want to be very wary of the secondary pieces. If there's any week to follow your rule of we are not going to have secondary wide receivers as one-offs, it is this week.
Yeah.
But outside of that, do you want to thank everybody for tuning in? This has been week 13 of the bakery. Let's go collect some trophies, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.